Share that screen one more time for them. Share that screen one more time for
All
them.
right, so let's get started. What we're going to cover today is something to do with social media. And here's the cool part for everybody that is not 100% sure who Chris Dove is. I'm just going to showcase this real quick. She is the #7 agent in the entire United States with eXp Realty inside sold. Now, I have to qualify. That's not team. That is individual agent who is just kicking the ever-living crap out of it. And I'm going to ask a couple of questions for her to tee this up so you get it. The #1 question I'm going to ask is, where does most of her business come from? Pretty sure that's what we're talking about today. So let's stop the share and jump to it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely my honor. I have Miss Chris Dove on the call with us. Chris, thank you so much for doing this. We are excited. Are you ready to lead the call? I'm your bitch. Whatever you need, I got you.
I think I'm going to need, I can share my screen without any capabilities, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes,
well then let's get this party rolling. First of all, thank you for having me here. I'm really excited.
I got to interrupt. I want to get that first
share
question.
some secrets.
Can I ask you a question? Most of your business, where does it come from?
Social media.
Oh, so we're actually talking about the thing that makes you the #7 agent in the entire country today. That's what you're going to cover.
You're correct. Yep.
I mean, just for all of us out there, you might want to pay attention to this. 41 closings through through April 4th today, #7 nationwide. The floor is yours. I'm here to help in anything I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to talk about social media in general. This is TikTok, LinkedIn. Actually, I can't see you guys really quick. Who is using Instagram? Raise your hands. Okay, cool. Who's using TikTok? Raise your hands. Okay, all right. I'm sure everybody's using Facebook except for me, so I can't be super helpful there. And who's going to be using LinkedIn or is already using LinkedIn? Anybody? Okay, awesome. Good. I'm glad to see a couple of hands there. Okay, so we're going to mainly focus on Instagram today, but I also use all of those platforms that I just mentioned besides Facebook because I'm really bad at it to get business for social. LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. Here we go. So how to create a lead converting social media profile, which is better than just having a social media profile. Oh no, it's not going to let me scroll. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so the three main components that make your social media, be it LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, is your profile quality, your content quality, and your audience quality. So in order to be able to drive traffic and to show your expertise in whatever niche you're in, I'm going to teach you how to build your profile out from the basics, from the beginning. This will be your foundation, whether you're just starting out or you have already been in the business and maybe you just want to brush up on some things that I'm doing. I'm not saying it's perfect or the best. I'm sure you'll hear things that are different all the time, but this is specific what I'm doing and what I use in my life daily. So the first thing to start with is a clear photo. You want to have a high quality photo that's kind of like your brand image. If you know me and you've seen me out and about, I'm usually always in white or gold or tan. That's my brand. That's my niche. That's something that you'll see if you're a client in all your printouts and your flyers via social. On my website, my car, it's white. So that's why my profile picture is just an absolute showcase of who I am as a person when you see me in public. All right. You want to avoid pixelated photos. Make sure it's high quality. Make sure that you're close to the camera. So you want to be smiling, have a happy face. You want to be friendly. You want your picture to be bright, and you want to welcome your visitors with your face. This is the first thing that they see when they go to your profile. So make sure that that image is welcoming and friendly and that they might actually want to do business with you. Don't sit there and be grumpy looking on your profile picture. And I love you guys, but if you haven't updated your pictures in the last 5 years, get on that. You don't look the same. I don't look the same as last year. We're all in real estate and we age quickly. Okay.
A career that is a long career, not nickel and dime. Sorry. Hey, Chris, this is a great opportunity for me to do a quick public service announcement. Folks, this is being recorded in the GPS Global Partners in Workplace as well as in YouTube. So if you just jumping on now, please put your cameras on so we can get some energy in there. Update your photos like me. I just heard that loud and clear. And remember, all of this is available for you. The link will be in our YouTube channel as well as in the GPS Global Partners in Workplace, a full recording. Back to you, Miss Chris.
Perfect. So general tips about these photos: continue to make sure that you're not having, like, I know you guys love your families, but don't have a family photo. People that are looking to do business with you aren't looking to do business with your family and your kids. They're looking to do business with you. Avoid pictures with your friends out at bars, on the beach. I'm in the gym every day, but my profile picture is not my gym bod. It's a professional photo, a friendly photo. So you want to make sure too, if you guys notice when you're scrolling on Instagram, the little bubbles where your profile picture is very small. So if we're using my screen here, you don't want to be far away from the shot. You want your face zoomed in. So if you have to take a photo and zoom in on your face, do that so that your facial features are clear even in the smallest setting. Let me get my PowerPoint to move because it's delayed.
This is a great opportunity to reinforce what you just said. And this is where she talked about pixelation. Don't have your face way back here and then zoom in so that you're like a bunch of little make sure that you've got a really clean, crisp, professional level photo that isn't pixelated out where you're looking splotchy. It has to be clear when they click on it. Is that fair, Chris?
That's correct. Yep. So your handle, this is at the top of the profile. This is what people associate your name to be on Instagram. You want to keep it short. People know me as Realtor Chris Dove. The reason that I put realtor is because my thought process is, if someone is on Instagram looking for a realtor, like, I don't know how you guys use your social media, but I use it to find all my vendors. So I'll type in pressure washing Tallahassee, painters Orlando. So I'm thinking other people are searching the same way. They're going to be typing in realtor. And hopefully if they're in Tallahassee, I'm the first one that pops up because that's what I'm pinging to. You want to avoid numbers and symbols. So don't say, I'm Chris Dove, 1982 Orlando. That's really hard to remember. It's long. You want people to be able to come up with your name at the drop of a hat. If someone says, oh, what's that realtor that you follow? Realtor Chris Dove. Realtor George. Very easy. Or Orlando's best realtor. Things like that make it so much easier for your brand and your name image recall to happen. Think about the searchability. So whether you're doing commercial, you're doing residential, you're doing land, Florida's best land realtor, anything like that would work. Think about your location and your niche. Whatever you want to portray, put that in your handle so it's searchable to your audience. Your headline is right underneath your profile picture. It's different than your handle. So this is where I put my name and what I want people to think of me. So I didn't say that I was a listing agent. I didn't say that I was a realtor. I didn't say that I was a commercial agent. I didn't say that I was a home advisor. I said Chris Dove, so people know who I am, another iteration of my name, my brand, my niche, Florida real estate advisor. Now, the reason that I have Florida on here is because I have multiple MLSs that run from Tallahassee all the way to Naples. So I do serve all of Florida. All of Florida is my farm. You might want to put Orlando's real estate advisor, or Orlando's best commercial realtor. Whatever you want to put that there. Just make sure that you're putting your name, niche keywords, location keywords, and your brand keywords. Underneath that, you have 3 to 4 lines where you get to tell your audience about yourself. So you want to put your best foot forward here, similar to your profile picture. This is where people are going to start to understand what you do, who you are, and who you serve. And you want to put that. Obviously, I put that I'm a realtor with eXp Realty. That's because I'm proud of being with eXp Realty. And if there's an agent out there that hits my profile and is thinking about switching, I want them to know that I'm not with Keller, I'm with eXp. That's why that's there. That second line is so that if you're a realtor or you're a client, you're an investor, you're whoever, you come to my profile, you know that I don't just sell residential, because I don't. I specialize more so in commercial, then land, and then residential, which is why I have that in that order. I'm not as worried about residential transactions as much as I want commercial transactions. And you can do that as well for yourself. So you could put luxury agent serving X community or something like that. Underneath that, I have a listing specialist. Love you guys, but I don't like working with buyers. If you're a buyer, I really don't care if you keep scrolling on and off my profile. That's completely fine. But if you're selling, I want you to see that I'm a listing agent. And at the same time, if you've served our country, I want you to know that I'm VA friendly and that I also specialize and cater to those individuals. Underneath that, is that for me,
Chris,
George?
yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt it. And I know you can see me because I'm probably up on the top of your screen. For everybody that's just joined, we'll keep putting it in the chat. You may have missed the first couple seconds of this because we start sharply at 8:30. It is being recorded in Workplace in the GPS Global Partners Group, as well as YouTube this afternoon. It'll be posted in there, and the link is in the chat. I'll keep dropping it. Please put your cameras on. And that is our last 8:45 public service announcement. Chris, back to you.
Awesome. Okay, so last but not least, you want to have a call to sorry, two more things. You want to have a call to action in there. So my call to action is specifically to go into my links and visit those links. Your call to action could be DM me for a free comp for your home. DM me to sign up on my new buyer's agreement. I don't know what your call to action is. It's up to you, but put that in there. Mine is to direct my audience to my links because that's how I would like them to convert. I want them to go down to my links as either an agent or a client and search for properties or sign up for the things that I get affiliate links for, right? Okay, moving right along, perhaps. Okay, so your link in bio. This is what I was just speaking about. You can use Linktree. A lot of people will tell you to have one link. They give you room for 3. I use all 3 because to me, it feels like the more the better. So you can use Linktree to stack them all uniquely in one line. You'll see that off to the side, how I have my link set up. Visit my website, search my properties, the properties that I've had for sale, 35% off for other realtors, so on and so forth. Whatever I'm selling and whatever you wear, drink, sell, buy, people can see that on social media. Get an affiliate link for it because people are going to ask you, where'd you get your workout clothes? What are you drinking? Where'd you get your tea? Where'd you get your CEs? And make sure that you're making money off of the things that you're actually advertising. That's why I have a Linktree. Okay. So the first link that you actually see though, when you hit my link button is my website. My website pulls you to my social media, my blog, and my search for properties, my KV Core. If you don't hit that, then you go directly to my KV Core. If you've missed those 2, then you go into my Linktree and I'm going to hit you again with visit my website, search my properties, then the affiliate links. So this is a huge traffic converter. This is how you push people from your DMs, from your highlights, from your stories, from your posts to your blog, to your KV Core. Then you start your drip campaigns. Capiche? Yes, George.
Linktree, any cost to that? Can you just Google Linktree to get that and we'll show you how to set it up?
Yep, it's very easy. I use the free version. There is a cost-effective version where you can change the backgrounds, but that's why I just have mine on black and then a little profile picture. You can change it to whatever you want if you have the other version. Yes, you can Google it, and the best way for you to learn how to set anything up is always YouTube.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So that's a free high-level tip that everybody should be employing, I think.
Yes, absolutely. And there's tons of other like apps like Linktree too that you can Google if those work for you or you like the way that they look better, go for it.
All right, cool.
They all do the same thing.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Below your actual bio and your link is what is called your highlight covers. So these are kind of little bits and snippets. I like to call them the commercials of your life, right? So this is what people are going to hit and be able to research before they actually go into your content. Underneath this would normally be your feed. You want these highlight, first of all, have them. If you don't have them, that's a problem, set them up. You want to have at least 3 to 5 of them so that they fall along your profile line and you don't just have 1 or 2 random bubbles sitting there. You want them to be branded and cohesive, like I mentioned with your profile picture, like I mentioned with your car, like I mentioned with your clothes, like I mentioned with your design, everything branded. Make sure when you are out and random people, thousands of people can walk up to you after following your profile because you dress the same, you look the same, and everything is cohesive. Same with the highlights. So what you see here, mine looks a little different, looks a little weird, not super real estatey because my whole profile is not about real estate. The reason you see it like this is because Georgia cotton. So I'm in North Florida, Southern Georgia. This is something you see here all the time. This is a kingfisher. This is a local bird. I like to fish. It's part of my brand. Here's houses sold behind the scenes. So although it's not specifically real estate looking, it looks like me. And if you know me, this is me. And that's what's important is you don't want your page to completely just be real estate bought, sold, bought, sold, bought, sold testimonial. You actually want to have some authentic you sprinkled in the mix. So that's where I put mine in my highlight covers. The actual content that goes into that, an example going forth. So what I've done with my highlight covers is I've started at the about me. It goes over my services, what you can expect out of working with me. Then it goes into, like you saw, like the homes that I've sold, which you want to update these more than I do because I don't often post bought and sold posts. I have trouble keeping that up to date, but you want to try to update these probably like monthly, weekly, whatever you can, then go back out and clean them out. But you'll take your stories and directly post them to your highlights under whatever cover they go under. So this was an about me. Then you have a testimonial, you'll have a testimonial highlight. You'll post a testimonial story and put that under the highlight. So when people are clicking through your mini commercials, now they're going through my services, about me, who I serve, who I have served, the homes that I've sold, and the testimonials of those. Then you can even do something fun and have like behind the scenes work so people can see your actual personality and not so much the service side. Do you guys have any questions on that really quickly? Come off mute because I can't see all of you.
We're good in the chat. So if anybody has a question, and by the way, everybody here, please raise your hand if you have a question. This is about you, and Chris wants to make sure that you have the information. If you've got a question somebody else does, please don't keep it to yourself. Let us share that because it's going to help somebody move forward, and that's what we're all about.
Hey, Chris, just quickly, I mean, watching some of your videos and stuff, again, I have never really taken the time to get trained, like how you are able to do so many creative things with it and put the scripts up there and all that. The little bit that I do, like on TikTok, and when I have to do all that, I mean, it takes me, of course, I use a one finger. It takes me a long time to do all that. And the amount that you do and the creativity of it, how long does it take you?
So after doing it for so long, it takes me a lot less time.
Yeah.
The other thing about it is I've gotten way less specific and picky. If you scroll back through my profile, you can see that I was way more templated, like everything had to be perfect. So what you'll see a lot of times now in my content is I will throw up my camera if I'm pumping gas and just record myself. I'm recording myself right now while I'm doing this just so I have content. Anything and everything you do is content. It's just in how you use it and who you're trying to target. So an example, a couple of weeks ago, I had a story up where I was watching a sunset at a lake on a dock. That's because I was already there. I was already watching the sunset, but I have a buyer that I know pretty soon is going to be looking for a lake house. Bada bing, bada boom, content, met him where he was at. He started asking me to start sending him his properties, right? So it's kind of who you're keeping in mind, what you're trying to display. A lot of people batch content. I don't find that the most effective for me because by the time that I try to match that to a trending audio, it's already gone. So I have to kind of feel it from the heart, and it has to be a post that's like, you know, like the new recent NAR stuff that's come out. That's going to trend really well. Home selling if you're delivering value. So if you can just kind of make a quick caption on the front and over the feed of your post, like, have you ever heard of the 8-second rule when selling a home? Boom. That's all you have to put. And then describe that. Okay, when you pull up to a house, you have to make your first impression. And then you can use ChatGPT to write that caption. So that's kind of like a few easy ways that I shrink down that content load and time. I hope that helped.
Yeah, a lot. Thank you.
Okay.
Chris,
You're welcome.
you said something that I think I'd like to touch on real quickly. You're filming yourself at this point. So
yeah.
Two things that come to mind. First off, if we, let's say everybody said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to start creating a lot of content about what the day in the life is, or basically the real, kind of call it B-roll. That's what I was trained into. But it's not the relevant, hey, I'm telling the story, but it's something like a picture of me sitting here going, I hate editing film. But that's relevant and it's
Yeah.
real to life, or I'm shopping and this looks stupid. How do you keep it organized? And also, does it take away, because you said something, this, I guess this is what I'm going to reiterate what you said. You're sending a very clear message, but that message isn't, hey, buy a beach house. It's, hey, we're on the same page. I'm a person too. I think it feels like you're creating a relationship through your less planned out stuff and more authentically you, vulnerable. This is my world kind of thing. Is that accurate?
That's completely accurate. So no one wants to work with a robot, and a lot of people don't want to work with strangers. So my goal of my content is to be the person that someone wants to know, like, and trust. So you've never worked out with me. You don't come to my house and knock on my door at 2:30 in the morning to get me up. How do you know that I'm this person? It's because George watches me on social media. He thinks that he knows. He doesn't know that maybe today I didn't go to the gym. Maybe today I posted an old video. I didn't. I went. But I'm just saying, what you're posting online, it's absolutely showing people who you are and whether or not they want to work with you, and what best way to like weed the individuals in and out of your life who you want to and not want to work. Now, the way that I organize that, back to your original question, so posting wise, anything that's on my feed is valuable, and I'll get into this a little bit more at the end, but it's valuable, entertaining, it's top of mind. So it's not just willy-nilly. The more willy-nilly stuff is on my stories. That's the day in the day. I like to think of my stories as a vlog, but it's a targeted vlog. So anything that you see, it's because someone is watching me post on my story and I'm meeting them where they are. So I have one of the Florida A&M football coaches watches my story every single morning. Yesterday morning, I just was able to send him a link to my KV Core for he and his wife to start searching houses, because every morning at 6 a.m. before he goes and trains the athletes, he's checked my story to see if I made it to the gym to say, hey, good job, champ, or whatever. I met that person from Rotary, which is a networking club I'm in. And since I've met him and got to know his interest in what he's looking for, you can bet the houses that I've been showing on my story have been in the neighborhoods he's looking in. You can bet I'm showing up at the gym and not skipping days because I know he's watching. So that's an easy example. And there are multiple people that are watching me. So you'll see multifamilies is because I got an investor watching. Just what you do on your story, people see, make it authentically you, but also make it targeted to them. I hope that helped.
Absolutely.
It was a lot. All right, let's move on to your actual feed real quick so I can get into more of the content. Your feed to me is your branded storefront. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in like a cute little town and I'm downtown shopping and you're like looking at all the windows of the boutiques and you're deciding which one to go in, or like antique stores or whatever, I look before I go in because I'm a type A. I don't like to waste my time. And so that's kind of what I think about social media. So when you look at my profile, you have a good idea of what I do, right? You can see I've done commercial. You can see my clients, like 2 clients at least like me, right? I've got 2 testimonials on there. You can see that I'm in houses, that I'm talking about NAR, that I'm on land, I'm in farms, I'm on a highway, I'm doing all of that, right? You get that impression. That's whatever you want of you to be, that impression for someone. That's what these little squares need to look like. So when you post your reel or you post your carousel or you post your image, make sure that that image in that cover is the image you're trying to portray to someone. What colors are you wearing? I keep touching on this because it's really important. What colors are you wearing? What colors are you using in your branding? Make sure that you're pinning your high performing posts or your favorite posts or the posts that are the most local, the most about you. For me, I pinned my favorite client and I pinned 2 of my favorite testimonials because I feel like that is a really good description of the people I serve and how I act when I serve them. I also If you know me, my age bracket of the people that I serve is older. I don't really work with a lot of younger people. That's why you see what you see on my profile here. You want to make sure that I might have said this, you're using everything, carousels, reels, images. I usually just use reels because I have so much video content. And for me, in my brain, it lives forever. So I think that it's better to use as opposed to just one image. You can do like, and this applies, guys, for like TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, reels, one image, everything. And if you're on LinkedIn, it is a blessing if you're on video. I know people tell you it needs to be professional and it's only one way. It's not true, because if you're the only person standing out on an entire page of boring articles, guess who's going to get the business? You. So utilize LinkedIn and utilize video content on there. And TikTok, you don't just have to dance. So TikTok is like where I go to sell some of the harder properties that I've had to sell, because that natural organic reach is great. So if you've got a property that maybe isn't in a good neighborhood, maybe it's been sitting on the market, maybe it's at a price point you can't negotiate with your seller, post it on TikTok, right? Cheapest house in Orlando. Buy this house with $2,000 down payment. Like, those captions on TikTok go flying, and that'll really help you sell that and push that property. When it comes to the reels, I'm going to harp on this, like, utilize your video. That organic reach is real. And not only that, once you have that reel, then you can post it on TikTok. You can post it on LinkedIn. You can post it on Facebook. You can post it on your story. You can send it to your client. So utilize that video content. It keeps living. Make sure they're short, efficient, but use trending audio so it can be between 5 to 10 seconds. If you're doing something educational, or if it's obviously like a live house tour, those are going to be longer, that's fine. But for your main focus, try to keep them short, quick, and to the point. You want them to be valuable or entertaining. And like I said before, reuse the content that has worked well in the past. So on what to post, I like to try to use anything that's trending, anything that's going to help someone get from point A to point B, anything that I think is funny or satirical, or that I have an opposite opinion about, because people like to argue with you online, right? So here I obviously use what's trending right now, the NAR situation, and it has worked pretty well for me. I've got 140,000 views on this reel. I've got tons of followers from it, and they're other agents. So guys, what am I going to start targeting next on my story? I bet you're going to start seeing drips for how I want people to start joining my team now that I have all these new agents following me. It's very simple to use your social like this with what's going on in our world. So valuable pieces of advice, authentic stories, wins and losses. We were talking about this last night at the baseball game. Like, there's so many agents that will post all their wins and they're sold and their testimonials and how wonderful their life is. Like, you go on my post, there's boogers and tears. Like, there's real life happening, and it's hard work. And you see that not all of it's luck, and you need to post that so people know that you're not just a robot. You're an actual real person that gets up and puts their pants on the same way as everyone else every single day. Post your opinions, like I said. Anything local. I unfortunately can't post a ton of local content because I do serve all of Florida and I still like that business. So I don't want to just hyper focus on Tallahassee, even though a lot of what I do is Tallahassee because it's where I live. So post your local stuff. If you're only serving Winter Garden, if you're only serving Oakland, like whatever it is, post that. That's so special. And so obviously stay top of mind, get on your Google alerts and EXP alerts and stuff like that for your news and media. Lastly, and most importantly, you want to track your insights. Who is watching you? Do you even know who your target audience is? I know my target audience. My target audience is 25 to 65 years old. I want them to be females, mainly, because I don't want to attract a bunch of men to my profile, right? I want them to be mostly in Tallahassee and in Tampa, but also outside of those areas throughout the world. So who is your target audience? How old are they? Where do they live right now? Do you want to work on relocations? Do you want to work on people coming from New York or California into the state? When are they online? That is when you should post. So on Tuesdays, my audience, as you can see, is most lively at 3. So I'm probably going to post about 2 o'clock, 2:30. That way, when they come online, my post is already there. It's getting fed into the feed, the timeline, and it can just keep popping back up the more people see it. So you want to use all of these things in unison in all of your social media. It doesn't matter because LinkedIn, TikTok, all of those have stories as well. And you can track all of your insights too. So this might have been focused for Instagram, but you can apply this to any of your social media profiles. And lastly, should just be consistent. If my thing would change, but that's fine.
Chris, while you're changing that, Moses asked a question. Video tours are better on your post and not on Reels. I think that I said it's exactly how he wrote it, so I'm not sure that's 100% accurate, but does that make sense to you?
So I don't think I understand the question, because when you do like your lives, like I'm going to go live on Instagram or whatever, that will automatically, after it's published, be pushed. Like any video content now will automatically be published into a reel. And if you're asking, should you be doing like house tours as your content? Minimally would be my answer.
Okay, Moses, if you're on, can you unmute? We want to make sure we got your question answered. It's a valuable question and we want to make sure it's right.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, I was just wondering, because when I do my new construction video tours, I'll post them on both, like how she was saying, like window shop right on your post instead of my reels, but I'll post them in both spots. So by what I was understanding is in the reels section, you want to keep it, as minimal as possible. Like, was it 6 to 10 seconds? I think I read on what she had on the screen. So I didn't know if it was better to not post them on Reels and just post them on my regular profile and keep them off the Reels.
You can definitely post them, but I would probably put them on my stories more so. So if you knew, like, advertising a property is great, but if you're using your social to try to build an audience to advertise to, then I would try to pull back a lot of your actual real estate video walkthrough, bought, sold, this is available, new listing content, and focus on maybe the amenities this listing offers, or how well constructed this is, or the process of the new construction, maybe as you're going through the home, or film it in the home, as opposed to doing like, this is the home, this is bedroom 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Chris, we got Fred. Godfather, you got your hand up, sir. Can we jump on you, please?
Hey, Chris, let me ask you a question. On the clocks in your house and on your watch, is there more than 12 numbers?
I have no clocks anywhere.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have a virtual assistant?
No, not yet.
Do you have any assistants?
No.
And you did 10 sales per month, 10 closings per month since the first of the year. Over that, because you're at 41 by April.
No.
Because it's only April.
Last year. Well,
Oh, this is 2024. This is year to date. Chris.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
You're right. So it's yeah. So
multifamily.
yeah, so whatever. I'm saying, but you have the same amount of time everyone else on the call has, correct?
Oh
And-
yeah.
No
I just
assistant,
that
no
last.
virtual assistants, and you're doing all this business. So I just put a clock in the chat for everybody. This is called Twisdomology. It's respecting and getting wise with what she's doing and putting wisdom and time together and make it, really pay off. So Chris, I don't know what happened to that young, shy, timid young lady that I first interviewed when Jessica Baskey's invited you on her team. I don't know what happened to her, but I'm so glad she's gone. I'm so
Love you.
proud of you, girl.
Thank you.
I really am. I mean, and I'm just blown away. I've sat through a lot of social media stuff, and just even this presentation, watch out world, here she comes. I'm going to start a real estate, American's Idol or something, and you're going to be the first one.
That's
So
awesome.
sweet. Thank you.
All right, Jackie, you have your hand up. Go ahead, man.
Yes, Chris, thank you very much. Great content. 2 questions for you. The first one is, when you were talking about how you post specifically for your audience, like the trainer and the guy who's looking for the lake house, Are those isolated incidents? Are you mainly posting for your avatar that you created, the woman, between 25 and 65? And the second question is, how long did it take for you to see the results, for people to reach out and say, hey, I want you to help me sell a house or buy a house? How long did it take from you starting to post on Instagram and those social media outlets?
Yeah, so I think first of all, when I first started posting, it took me, I'll start with the second question first. It took me about 18 months before I actually saw like it clicking and it working, and like people were coming to my profile and I was able to feed them the information, or I was able to grab them and convert them. So that being said, during that time, it was an avatar, because I did not want to work with first-time home buyers. I did not want to work with people my age. I wanted to work with the generation above me and beyond, right? So in my head, it was those avatars. It was never a family in my mind that I was serving. Now these are like not random incidents. What you see on my story is feeding someone that's watching information that they need to see about me.
Love it.
Got it.
Love it. All right. So, Krista, Jackie, you all set, hon?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. So Krista, and then we'll go to Max. Krista, whenever you're ready, my friend.
Hey, Chris, how are you? Good morning.
Hey.
Great content today. I love watching you at the gym in the morning when I don't go to the gym. And I'm like, darn it, I need to go to the gym. Anyway, my question is, I feel like I have a following of realtors, right? I haven't been able to get, and I've had a few DMs as far as referrals from other realtors because of my feed, but I have a hard time getting the actual audience of who I want to work with, like, listings and first-time buyers. I do like buyers, so I do that. And when you meet people like this coach, do you guys say, hey, follow me on Instagram? Or like, how does that conversation go so that they actually go there, or they're just curious and look you up?
So I think this question is kind of like two parts. When you're posting to find an audience, you're going to want to like use your hashtags, right? You get 30 of them to use. People say, don't use them. They look terrible. Don't listen to those people, because all 30 of those are literally a bus that drives your content to that location, right? So if I am working on a luxury listing, then I'm not going to put luxury listing because it's probably got like 2 million hashtags in that group, right? You want to try to stay under 500,000. I like to stay between 5,000 and 20,000, up to 100,000 in that hashtag set if I have to. So luxury listing agent, luxury moving specialist, sell my home fast, expensive. So like just different ways to word to be able to, if someone is typing in luxury agent wherever, how to sell an expensive house, brands of the appliances in the home, anything like that will draw any if it's a contemporary home, make hashtags about that. Whatever that listing marketing is that you're trying to reach, drive that bus to that person. And then the other part of that is when you're posting and you're trying to reach other people, you want to so if I meet someone in person, right? I usually get a picture with them. I take that photo and I put it on my Instagram and I tag them in the story if they have not followed me in person. But usually if I'm standing there with someone, I'll be like, do you have Instagram? That's the best way to get to know me and keep up with me every day, right? I'll grab their phone if they hand it to me, or I'll give them my phone, whatever, and they'll put in my name versus their name, however we do that exchange. If that doesn't happen, I get a photo and then I add them to Instagram. If they don't have Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, if that doesn't work, then I text them that photo and say, I'm so happy that I met you yesterday.
Gotcha. And then do you follow everybody that you're trying for them to follow you? Okay.
Yep. And
Gotcha.
I interact with their posts like they're my best friend.
Okay. Thank you. That makes sense.
I think it's Max.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Chris, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. So the question that I have is, because right now we're seeing, there's a lot of people Yeah, it's a slippery market right now. Inventory is coming up and everything, and I feel like I'm like in a space where if I don't become an absolute master of my social media, because I'm personally, I don't know, personally, I feel like it doesn't really get stuff sold, but it definitely looks great to the consumer that wants to get the property sold. You know,
Right.
they have the experience that is what all the matter makers are. You know, I was looking at a guy who he's doing incredible. He's got, you know, thousands of video views, and I called him up yesterday and he was in agreement with me. He's like, you know, I've converted a couple of them from social media, but then I hear people like you that say, oh, I get pretty much everything from social media. And so what I'm learning is don't listen to everybody. You know, like you can figure out what works and you can totally make it work. So my question is, the amount of time, how much time are you spending converting these people from the moment that they reach out to you and they say, hey, I want help with XYZ? You know, what's your follow-up like them with them? Are you staying on social media platform that they're reaching out to you on until they're ready to, like, you know, sign a contract? Or do you move them into KV Core and start doing regular phone calls with them and text messages and time frame? Like what are you seeing time frame wise for turnaround time?
So with me, I'll always refer back to this because I'm an Enneagram 8 high DC. So I do not waste time on people. I don't track you down. I don't follow you. This is not the store buckle. I'm not going to chase you around to sell you a pair of jeans. My people come to me, which is why I post the content that I post. So they come to me when they're hungry and they're ready to eat, and I feed them. That's basically, I don't do any chasing. Yes, I do priming. I do advertising. I meet you where you are, but I'm not going to say, hey, are you ready to follow up? Are you ready to do this house? Like, maybe if you're reaching out, say, oh my God, like, hey, Chris, that lake house that you're at, that was sick. Is that for sale? Then I'll be like, hey, this one's not, but here's my link to search some homes. If you start using this, I'll be able to gather like your interest in what you like. No rush if you don't want to use it, but just letting you know. When you're ready, I'll send you over a buyer's guide so that with or without me, you'll be able to purchase the house. Like, I never make it like I want you as a client. I could give a shit less if you're my client. I want you to want me, because if you don't want me, then you're going to be disloyal, and I'm not interested in that. So that's kind of like, I might be the worst person to ask that question to, but I have no like follow-up cadence. I don't exactly have a timeline because it's like, just like you're saying, for everyone's individual social media story, their individual buying and selling story is going to be different. So you just try to meet them where you are or grab them where they're at. if that
Okay.
makes-
Thank you. Yeah, no, appreciate that.
Mhm. George, you're on mute.
Wise beyond your years. Yep, wise beyond your years.
Okay, so the next person we're gonna call on is George, because he had his hand up. That's me. So let's do this. One of the things you just said that I'm a huge advocate for is I send them the link so they can search properties on my personal search web engine, which is a better search engine, by the way, than Zillow or everything else. It's just a matter of doing that. If you haven't done this already, Krista, in that link that you send them, there should also be a short YouTube video, which is a screen capture of how to save a search so they can do it. So that here's a quick 30 seconds how to do it, and here's the link at which you've got access to the entire world. But here's the part that I really loved. You also said, when they're ready, it said, I can send you a buyer's guide that you can use, which means they're going to want that because you haven't tied you to it. It's a value to them that's for free, which is inspiring. And it also fits with who you are. And it should be for everybody, because and I want you all to get that. Here's a buyer's guide that you can use regardless of whether you decide to work with me or not. You put that out there, but you've also said that, hey, it's not important that you work with me. What's important is you. Great building of relationships, and you're prepared. I had to praise on that because it's huge. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Folks, we got 15 minutes left. This is all the time you have. Max has his hand up. Krista has her hand up. So Max, you first, then Krista.
So kind of tacking on to what you just stated about my first question, do you feel like, because I don't feel like I have that many clients that are like, oh, like only going after you. You know, like I've got a system that's much more old school. Like, you know, my system's built for me, you know, right now making phone calls to all these follow-ups. I don't have a massive social media following. do you feel like I don't feel like I have that, oh, gotta have you, if no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I do once people get to know me, but
Yeah.
they don't know me yet, right? And that's what I'm trying to get to do, is to create that get to know me, because I think once people actually get to know me on social media, they're gonna be like, why would I want to use anyone else? Right? Because I know one thing, I may be wearing a tank top right now, but I know a lot about real estate, and I call myself, real estate ninja, and people experience that when they're working with me. I don't get stuck on things that other people get stuck on, and I have a lot of knowledge. So what I wanted to ask is, do you feel like the space of where you're at today, of saying, hey, I don't chase people down, I don't hunt people down, that's because you have such a great following presence online, that you have enough people that are like, yeah, like, we're ready to go, like, let's do this?
No. So actually, when I started real estate, my second client I fired. I came from corporate America. So when I started real estate, I said, this is my game, my rules, how I want it, when I want it, and no one is going to boss me around. If I don't want to work with you, goodbye. I already went through hell for the last 10 years. I'm not doing it again, although I am somehow. Anyways, so when I started real estate, I had a very strict, and I say it on my story all the time. So, if you're a client, don't mess with me. I will fire you. I will not waste my time. Why? Because when God shuts a door, he opens a window. And I'm not going to waste my time, because people that waste your time will drag you around. So yes, was I hungry? Did I starve for business? Did I work with some people that I didn't necessarily want to work with, but weren't fireable? Yes. Did I take deals I didn't want to then? Yes. Do I now? No. But people now aren't just like running to me like, I want to work with you. Like, I have to work at it. But a huge, huge, huge thing about what you just said, which is why I'm glad that you're on this call today, is I wish that you would go back once this is released, take the screen recording of you saying, I'm in a tank top, but I know what I'm doing as a real estate agent, and post that on your story. Post it as a reel, because automatically you're on a call, you're speaking on the call, you look like you're coming from authority. So now anybody that's seeing that, agent or otherwise, is going to think that you ran this whole call today. Post it. It doesn't matter what people think. Don't care about their opinion. Post who you are. And I actually struggle with that a lot, because you laugh about your tank top. I'm wearing like my old sponsored fishing shirt. I was a boat captain in a fishing guide. So I struggle, like, I use F as a comma. So I struggle all the time not posting like anything cussing online, being careful in my gym clothes, how I look when I post, like, because my generational audience is like 50 plus, and I don't want to offend anyone with my language or my body. But at the same time, I do it in a stride where it's authentic me. Like, I will cuss. There will be motivational stuff that cuss. And I am in there, my sports bra, my leggings. And you do see that I'm shredded. Why? Because it shows how much work ethic I have and the effort that I put in. And I think if you did that too, then you're right. We'd all want to work with you. I might have you buy or sell my house. Like, just put it online so people can see who you really are, even if it's terrifying. Because like, I'm not like cool. I'm really boring. I go to bed at like 9:30 and I cuss a lot and I'm mean, but it's online. So if you want to work with me, you can bet you're working with me. And if you don't, you're running. So
Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. Appreciate it.
you're welcome. Krista.
Next. Hey,
Yeah.
Chris, I'm a realtor, but I want you to sell my house. You're so fun. So just going back to what you said, the link that you sent, is it the link to your KV Core website, the search?
Mm-hmm.
So that they can register and then you can see what they're seeing, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Now with your phone, I have like
Can I
20,000.
pause you just for a second, really quick?
Go ahead.
So I'm watching what they're looking at. And so once they see something, maybe I'll text them the property and be like, guys, I'll go walk through that house.
Mhm.
And that walkthrough video of the house that I saw them look at is on my story because I saw them looking. Guess who gets
Right.
to write a contract? So,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. So now to your
That's
question.
smart. Yeah, no, that's great. Regarding your phone, I'm assuming you use your phone, you don't use your desktop to do all the things. Do you start deleting stuff? Because I have like 10,000 videos on my phone, and then I can never find anything that I actually want to do. So how do you organize anything?
Oh, I need to. It's a struggle. So I pay
Okay.
for like an exuberant amount of storage, and
Mhm.
I've just started to go back and kind of put things into folders like to be posted, good video, outside video, farm video, barn video, luxury video, and started
Okay.
to organize.
Just started to organize. Okay. And then posting who you are. I know you want to be your authentic self. And I think you are definitely when I see you. I, struggle with that because I feel that I'm older than you, much older
I'm
than
gonna shake you.
I know. So I need to get out of my head about that because I don't post things because I'm like, oh, I look bad today or whatever. I guess
If
I
you're
should
worried
just do
about
it.
looking bad, girl, use a filter. That's all I use. I'm not trying to get on Instagram with this face.
Okay. Okay.
I only look pretty because I use a filter. I promise. Meet me in person. I look like an alligator.
All right.
Hey,
Thanks, girl.
hey, Chris and Krista, I have to
Yeah.
say, I have the honor and privilege of knowing you both, very well because we have worked together for so many years now. And if you two were in the same marketplace, you'd be the first time in my 47-year history to have two agents that would dominate more than about 30% of the entire market share. You two are dynamos. I'm serious. You are like, you don't know it, but you are almost like, sisters from another mother, or whatever they say. You really are, both of you, personality wise and driven, and your creativity. So I just watch you two, exchange. I'm sitting here just chuckling. It's really enjoyable and rewarding.
And I was
Hey.
going to say,
Thank
Krista, too,
you.
you have been doing amazing. I have loved your content that you're putting out. So all you have to
Oh.
do right now is just don't stop. And we'll get together and do like a little bit of like how to tweak like your headlines and captions and hashtags.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're
Amazing.
killing it. You're doing a great job. I love your content.
Thank you.
Chris, we have
I was following a few months ago. Sorry to interrupt you. You put up about a plant, like when your husband or your fiance left, and the story of like you trying to keep the plant alive. I loved that.
Yeah.
That made me love you so much more. So
Thank you.
that is great. It's an authentic story that's real and very connecting. Michael Lynch put a question in here. Should we rebuild and optimize our current personal and business social media pages or start completely anew with new pages? Great question.
Yep, great question. So I struggled with this when I first started. The reason that I started a completely new Instagram page is because my old page was all travel and workout content, and I didn't need everybody seeing me in my sports bra and bikini. So I started a professional real estate account. But if you already have a semi-professional account and it's just not optimized, then keep your account because you don't want somebody to come to a store with nothing in it. You want them to see all your posts. And as you keep adding posts, delete the old ones that you don't like, keep some of them. That way you have a history and a run rate, but you don't want an empty shop.
So that begs another question in there that a lot of people struggle with. I'm going to start a new page, let's say. So does it make sense to be very aggressive in content with exactly this thought process so that we don't have an empty store saying, I'm going to commit to a month of like 15 pieces a day of just random garbage? But you know what I mean? But I'll start minimizing those as my content improves. First off, you get practice. Second off, you have content that's in there that has to be along the objective that you're having, as yours would be, which is workout, farming, boating, fishing, stuff like that, the things that you like. But if we started adding content that probably wouldn't make it in a normal environment, is it better to have content in a new site or not to have it and just be very authentic, even though we can remove it? Makes sense.
Kind of. I think what you're asking is if you should have value in your content or if you should just post.
Well, if we've got nothing, do we need to have something first and foremost? Is that a priority, or is it only has to be great, even though we can delete it in a month as we start getting a lot more good content? 50, I said 15 a day. You're like, holy crap, that's a lot.
I don't know how you're going to post 15 like stories maybe, but like actual reels, post content, captions, and deliver value 15 times a day. I can't even do it 3 times a week. So I would post whatever you're comfortable with enough to be able to show your authentic self, deliver that value, and add on to your page.
Okay.
If you can do it when you're just starting out and you can post 3 times a day, you want to go sign up under my account on Coffee and Contracts and get some free content, go do that. but make sure whatever you're posting is delivering value, no matter how much you're posting. For
Got it.
me, I don't think it's the cadence of the post, except for your stories. I'm online all day, usually the first one every time you open your Instagram on the stories feed, because I post 10 to 20 stories a day. When it comes to my reels, I only post if something's like valuable, entertaining on my heart, or that I feel like I have the knowledge to teach on.
Got it. So and your stories last for 24 hours, then disappear, I believe. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so that is
Unless
just
the
a
person that
snippet of
unless my target has seen them and I need to delete them.
Fair. That's cool. I like that. All right, that's great information. Go with value. Content is most important. Michael, did that cover the question for you, sir?
Yes,
Outstanding. Thank you very much
absolutely.
for asking that. I really appreciate it.
I did have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Like Grant Cardone says, you can't post too many times. If you're not annoying somebody, you're not doing your job. Is there too many posts? I have listings to leads and keeping current matters, and I have it scheduled to post a couple times or several times a day. Is that too much?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask this. I can't stand Grant Cardone, but I think that you can post too much. I don't think that you can post too much on story. Again, you can only post too much if you're posting without a reason. You have to have a reason. As long as you have a reason to post, that's fine. If you're just posting to post, it's too much and you are going to be annoying and people will delete you.
Thank you.
May I jump on back of that? Michael, one of the things too, like with listings and leads, they're all wonderful, but you notice Krista's post and Chris Dove and these people that are doing very well on social media, I don't think you buy anything like that. Do you, Chris?
I
You
have
don't have
copy and contracts.
That
That
yeah, but
way,
most of your posts is personal. I mean, it's
Yeah.
you. Yeah. So, be careful because there's so much stuff out there,
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to
I
get on.
repost, sorry, what I do, I don't have, any of these sites that give you content. What I repost other people's, like if there's a mortgage lender that has like the rates or, the, EXP. So I repost those. I feel that's better than reposting, a caption that says, here's where the market's going. I don't know. And then I have that audience of those people.
That's awesome. And you're bringing value in showing expertise in doing that. Hey, because of the time, I want to make sure we get to Gisella's question. It's a great question. Thank you for asking it. Where do you find the trending audio? We seem to struggle with that.
Yeah. So trending audio, let me think about this for the different ones. Okay. So when I go to Instagram, I only scroll. I give myself a certain period of scrolling time. And so this is going to be a little bit long-winded, but I'll try to shorten it, right? So the people that are on my profile that I am following for educational purpose, inspirational purposes, trending audio purposes, things that I'm trying to be like or perform like. So what I'm following is not Lottie Da, Frank, Jill, Sam, and how to homestead my farm. I don't care about that. So when I'm scrolling through my Instagram, I'm already coming across trending audio. I match the audio to what my post might be about. And the way to tell that something is trending is there'll be a little arrow next to it that kind of shoots up. That's how you know it's trending. And I try to find audio that's trending under 10,000 uses in post.
Good to go.
You can ride the rise.
All right, real quickly, first off, it is 9:30. Before everybody gets off, stick around for a second. This is going to be in the GPS Global Partners social media. We always post these videos of the call. It'll be in there. I will be tagging as many of you that is on the call as possible. Do me a favor. When you get on when you see it in the GPS Global Partners and you're tagged, do me a favor, tag somebody that would benefit from this in our group and say, listen, you need to watch this. It's amazing about social media. And always a quick shout out to Chris for helping out. I love it. I'm going to let it run for a second or two more. Chris, I know you had an obligation at 9:30 and wanted to be respectful. I'll leave it to your control. I'm going to leave it open and stop the recording. That was awesome. And then once the recording is